going to discuss shallow foundation and retaining structures. But even for retaining structures, we'll be discussing only the more common ones, no? Retaining walls. I'm not sure if we can still discuss counterforce walls, but evidently we'll not be discussing any more sheet piles, no? Because sheet piles analysis is more complicated, no? Okay, we still have 15 minutes, so let's continue, no? Now, we have the following general consideration in the design of foundation. So number one, we have to determine the building purpose, the soil profile, the construction methods, and the cost, no? So for building purpose, of course, some buildings are more important than others, and the amount of the factor of safety that we are going to introduce into the design depends on the importance of the building, no? For example, a residential building is not as important as a hospital, no? Or a foundation supporting a communications tower, which is necessary in times of calamities, no? So, mo nang dili pareha factor of safety ang atong i-induce atong design, no? The design of the hospital foundation will have a larger factor of safety compared to the design of a school building, no? And we have to consider the soil profile. So before we design the foundation, we have to do some soil exploration to determine the soil stratification and the properties of the soil, the different strata. And that is usually conducted by another consultant, no? Another specialist, which is the geotechnical engineer. Okay, so the number of boreholes and the borehole depths depends on several factors, no? For example, if you are going to construct a high-rise building, no, then you have to explore deeper into the ground, no? If you are only building a two-story residential building, maybe you can have only 5 meters of soil exploration below ground would be sufficient, no? Then you have also to consider construction methods, no? For example, if the depth of water table is near the ground surface, no, you excavate maybe 1.5 meter below the ground surface, you already encounter water, then that will have a lot of impact, no, on the design of the foundation. Okay? So we have to design also for constructability. We don't design in a vacuum. We have to consider also the possible construction methods, no, that will be used in implementing our design, no? For example, if a shallow foundation is possible, then we opt for shallow foundation. But if the so for example, what system are we going to apply? Is it a sheet pile structure or a simple riprapping, no? You have to consider the capability, no, of the possible contractor will execute the work. Okay, and of course we have to consider the cost. Now, all things equal, shallow foundation are less expensive compared to the deep foundation. So we design pile foundation only as a last resort, no, because pile foundation are by far the most expensive, no. And for pile foundation, there are generally two types. We have the precast piles, or the driven piles, and we have the cast-in-place piles, no, or the board piles. So the board piles are usually more expensive compared to the driven piles. But in some cases where the load requirement is very high, then we cannot also use driven piles, no, as there is a limit to the load, no, that we can apply by driving the piles, no? It has a limitation on the availability of equipment that we can use to drive the piles. So if the loads are very large, no, then we can use board piles. Okay. Those board piles, I think there is you can have very long and large diameter piles, no? Whereas for driven piles, you cannot lift a very huge na pile, no? Okay, so in the design of the foundation, we also have to determine the client or owner's needs. So for example of this, no, you have to ask the client if he, for example, plans to construct a 20-story building, but for now, financially, he can only afford, say, maybe constructing 10 stories. Then you have to consider already, no, in the design of your foundation, the 20-story future expansion, no. Otherwise, when you finish 10 floors, then you cannot add any more because your foundation was not designed, no, to carry additional floors. So you have to interview, verify from the owner what is his purpose of the building or his plans for future expansion, if any, no? Maybe possibility of change of loadings, no, has to be anticipated. Those things, no, has to be taken into account. Then, of course, we make the design with a margin of safety. So there should be an allowance, no, for certain hypothetical overloads, and the structural code puts into or builds into the design calculation, no, this margin of safety. The margin of safety will differ, no, according to the use of the building. As I've already mentioned, for example, in a hospital, you should introduce there a larger margin of safety compared to a commercial or maybe a school building, no? Because a hospital is classified as a, what do you call it, essential, no? Essential facility. If you are designing a communications tower that is also classified as essential facilities, these are facilities which should remain standing, no? Or it should be usable even after a calamity. Okay. Now, aside from the general considerations, there are also specific considerations in the design of the foundation, no? So I have listed here 8. I think we can finish only up to this one, no, since we already only have 8 minutes more, okay? So I'll try to be brief here. So number 1, the depth must be adequate to avoid lateral squeezing of the materials. So if you might have experiences already, no? For example, if you step on a mound of soil, the soil will be laterally displaced, no? And if that is the case, it will introduce settlement, no? When you step into a mound of soil, your foot will sink, no, into the mound that is due to lateral squeezing. So as long as the material is confined, it might have very strong bearing strength. But if it is not laterally confined, then it has very low bearing capacity. That is true for sand, no? From the soil, no? Sand, strong ka na siya kung confined ang sand, but if there is no lateral support or confinement, then it is very weak, no? So you should consider placing the footing at adequate depth to avoid lateral squeezing of the soil. So the weight of the soil should be able to counteract the pressure that would probably be caused by lateral squeezing, no? Then second, minimum depth must be below seasonal volume changes and plant growth. Now here in the Philippines, we don't have large temperature differential, no? We have only 2 seasons. We have the rainy season and the dry season, with not so much of difference in temperature, no? It's a bit cold during rainy seasons, but not that much difference, no? Unlike in other countries where they have winter, no? So if that is the case, no, then the soil will undergo expansion and contraction, no? And if the foundation is placed too close to the surface, then it will be affected by these volume changes, no, of the soil. So at one time, the soil will tend to push the foundation up. At another season, when the soil will tend to contract, it will tend to bring the foundation down. No? So muna ang kinahanglan nga ang atong foundation should be placed below seasonal volume changes. But more of a concern here in the Philippines is plant growth. No? So sa TC, Lamban Campus, no, engineering building, you might see there that there are some huge trees which is growing too close to the building, no? And it has affected, no, the building foundation. So you can see some areas, no, sa atong engineering building which have already, in the foundation has already moved, no, resulting into cracks of the ground slab, ground stairs, no, and even some walls. Okay? So kaya ang kining mga the roots of the trees, no, can underpin the foundation and will tend to push it up. Or if there is water, no, the water will seep through the cracks in the concrete. Then the roots will, of course, penetrate where the water is, no, and it might cause the concrete to be split, no, due to the incremental force exerted by plant growth on the cracks, no, of the concrete. Then third, foundation scheme may have to consider expansive soil conditions. So there are certain types of soil where if they are wet, they tend to expand. When they dry, they tend to contract, no. So of course we cannot, there are several approaches to this, no. You can either put more weight so that will counteract, no, whatever upward push that the soil will exert in your foundation. But usually these expansive forces are very large, no, and it will require a lot of weight to counteract that one. So what we can do is to control, no, the direction of the expansion. Okay. So some solution of this is the use of waffle type foundation, wherein expansion is permitted in a certain direction. No? So instead of pushing the foundation upward, the soil will be free to expand sideward. No? Then fourth, system must be safe against corrosion or deterioration due to harmful agent in the soil. So this is especially important, for example, for structure which are situated near the body of seawater, no? Kusog ang corrosion. So kinahanglan well protected, no? So kasagaran sa kuan kining mga port, I have designed also several ports already. Instead of the conventional concrete, we use the pre-stressed concrete, no? Because we cannot allow tension in concrete for structures which are near the seawater, no? And also structures near landfills, no, where there are several, there might be some chemical, no, from the garbage which is harmful to concrete, no. So you can provide adequate concrete cover, or you can provide epoxy coating to your steel reinforcement, no, to protect it from corrosion. Then, okay, if you have foundation must be safe against overturning, sliding, uplift, and material strength. So these are, so for this one, this is where your knowledge in engineering mechanics and strength of materials, no, and also the prior design, reinforced concrete design subject will come in. No? So we have to see to it that the foundation does not overturn. No? For example, this retaining wall here, no? So, kinahanglan nga atong kuan nga din siya mo rotate forward, no? That is overturning. It does not necessarily mean that the retaining wall will topple forward, no? But what we want is to prevent excessive rotation, no, or tilting of the retaining wall, because the retaining wall might still be standing, but if it has excessive tilt, no, forward, then it might render it unusable, no, or it will appear to be seemingly dangerous, no. Then sliding, so of course we will use our background here in mechanics on friction. No? So the frictional resistance is simply the normal force multiplied by the coefficient of friction, and in addition to that, some confining effect, no, of the surrounding soil that will prevent sliding. Okay. Sometimes, if the flat concrete surface is not sufficient, we provide keys, no, into the ground, no, kaya sa tikod sa sapatos ng nana, no, to increase the sliding resistance. Then uplift, so foundations has to counteract also hydrostatic uplift. So for example, sa kanang retaining wall, there might be seepage of water under the foundation, and that will destabilize the wall, no? Because if there is uplift, then that will decrease the normal reaction and thereby decreasing the frictional resistance, no? With a decrease in frictional resistance, then that will probably cause the wall to slide forward, no? So in the future, I'm going to show you some actual projects we had where we have to consider uplift forces, no? Then also material strengths. Okay, so for our subject, we have only, I think, two materials that we have to consider. That is concrete and steel, no? So we have to know the properties of these two materials, concrete and steel. Okay. Then number 6, the foundation should be adequate to sustain later changes in site construction geometry. So we have to consider for possible future expansion. So that is why we have to really conduct an interview with the owner, no, what his future plans is, no, for the usage of the building. Then 7, foundation should be buildable with available construction personnel and equipment. So of course you have to consider the availability, no, of the equipment, because your design might, for example, if you do a precast design, you will require lifting equipment, no? If there is no lifting equipment, then don't do precast construction, no? So, kinahanglan buildable siya, no? Tanaw sa nimo kung sa may available na mga skills. For example, post-tensioning will require specialized skills, no? If that is not available in the locality, then don't use post-tension design. Okay, use the conventional design. The number 8, foundation should meet local environmental standards. So there are certain requirements that is why sa construction you need to ask a permit from the DNR, environmental compliance certificate, no, should secure them so that you'll be able to satisfy the environmental standards, no? For example, when you excavate the foundation, you might contaminate the groundwater underneath, no? So if the community relies on groundwater supply, then that's a problem, no? So you have to specify your construction methodology, mga interventions na pwede nimong i-put in place in order to protect, no, from contaminating the water or spreading pollutants, no, construction waste into the environment. Okay. So it's already 3 o'clock, no? Lapas taga may 3 minutes. So I think I would end here. We'll continue next meeting. So that will be Tuesday next week. So what will we expect by next week? We will try to finish this introductory part, then maybe we can start on the design of the spread footing, no? But I'm not sure if it is possible for only one meeting or in one meeting, because I also want to let you see the provisions, no, of the National Structural Code of the Philippines as regards foundation design. Okay, so that would be all for now. Do you have any questions before we end our session. Any questions? Am I speaking too fast?
No, sir.
So next time will open in a Revo file so that I can also draw some lines and figures, no? Kaya akong i-open karon kung ano to Word. So, lisod kayo open. Ano say lisod sa online, no? Because in the actual face-to-face, I really love to write a lot of things on the board, no? Ganito rin, maglisod at nagsuwat. Nagsuwat kayo. May limitation. Yeah. Ano to, giha? Sa face-to-face na ini, naiupan na rin, magduka. Yung ini nga time, 3 o'clock. So I hope that you are awake to the entire discussion. No? So okay na ta? See you next meeting na, no? Okay? Sige, ayaw mo diha. No?
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sige.